So now that brings us to our final talk of the day and a really important moment here at Voices. Each year, we recognize one person as the recipient of the Global Voices Award. And as many of our speakers have noted, especially those from outside the fashion industry, our industry has a visibility and reach that enables us to have a real impact on the world. Our Global Voices Award recognizes not only outstanding achievement in fashion, but also the vision to use fashion as a way of having an impact on the wider world. This year, for us, no one exemplified this better than Natalia Vodianova. From founding the Naked Heart Foundation and Elbi, the global philanthropy platform and app for millennials, to her work as a member of the board of directors of the Special Olympics, and her advocacy for the full implementation of the UN Convention on the Rights of Persons with Disabilities, Natalia has earned a global reputation as a passionate philanthropist, digital evangelist, campaigner, and vocal fundraiser. She is seen as a role model not only by people within the fashion industry, but from all walks of life. And today, she will talk to BOF editor-at-large Tim Blanks about her work in fashion and philanthropy and her latest passion, technology.
Thank you. What an introduction. Thank you, Imran.
Thank you, Natalia. Just before we start, I'd like to say something about philanthropy. I think it has this slightly old-fashioned feeling about it now, which is borne out by the fact that I think when people think about philanthropy, they think of huge corporations or extremely wealthy people. The fact that the people who dig into their pockets fastest are now mostly people over 50. Making a connection with the generation, this massive group of people who's lumped under the label millennial. I quite like Moja's pivotal. I think I like the pivotals. Making a connection with them is more of a challenge. You were explaining to me that these people expect a transaction. Now, the notion of transactional philanthropy seems almost antithetical to the original concept. But you, 4 or 5 years ago, you've had this remarkable idea of a way to democratize philanthropy with Elbi. And I think the best way to introduce Elbi is to start with a video, and then you can tell us all about it afterwards.
Thank you.
Hello everyone, I am Diane von Fürstenberg.
Hello, my name is Doutzen Cruz.
Hello everyone, I'm Isabel Goulart.
Hi everybody, I'm very happy to be here.
I'm so excited to have my cause featured today at Elbi.
With Apple Pay, one-click donation is so simple.
Is the easiest and fastest way to make a difference now.
See you on Elbi.
So, Natalia, giving back has never been easier. Tell us how and why.
Yes, thank you, Tim. So you saw a very short presentation, a video that we were allowed to put. So I don't know if it explains to you exactly how easy it is, but today, technology allowing us to really be closer to each other, and probably the biggest aim of Elbi is to bring the donor and beneficiary as close to each other as possible. And this is what our goal is. So how are we trying to do it? You know, we all can imagine tomorrow a smart home, smart assistant that is not even a physical person, smart wardrobe, smart shopping. What about that smart philanthropy? And what does it look like? I hear at all the conferences, at all the gathering of very important people of solving social issues. What does it mean to us today in the age of technology? Really, why do we even gather in a way in the big conference rooms with thousands of people? Well, Business of Fashion embraced it, and voices are translated in live, and the community can be a big part of it. This is really, really important today. How can we scale it? How can we really react to something that's happening today? We have the biggest refugee crisis since the First World War, even bigger than the Second World War. What are we doing about it? In Rohingya, right now, over 1 million people displaced, mostly women and children. There are a lot of women, there are a lot of people working in place to do something. And we hear sporadically about it on social media, on Facebook, on Instagram, but there is not really one place where all those voices would be heard and the action would be taken straight away. Right now, if you Google, how can I help disaster relief, something, you direct it to big organizations, Red Cross, Save the Children, UNICEF. I respect very much what those organizations do. But with all this respect, there are a lot of smaller organizations working in the field, really, really passionate, who could actually affect change probably faster than those big organizations who are often very corporate, often really immobile. How can we reach those organizations? How can we affect change straight away? This is what we're dreaming of at Elbi. So really, the idea came from frustration. I've been on social media long enough to sort of love it and hate it, and to build that relationship with it that a lot of us, I'm sure, a lot of you would relate to. And for me, especially as someone who set up, who went into social media in the first place, because I wanted to be closer to my community in Russia, people who we are helping. I was frustrated with the fact that actually community I found there was more interested in me as a model and what I do in the fashion world. And so I realized that this is not really where I need to be with my philanthropy, with my passions, with my beliefs. And social media has changed since then, but still there is no home to philanthropy. There is no one place where that collectivism, you know, that we're all so familiar with, that the pressing a button now, like button, has been such an amazing, powerful tool. We press it 5 billion times a day, and that number has grown since I last checked. That's so much action. We are very active. It's changing completely our industry, a lot of industries. We're having a sort of a surge and emerge of new celebrities, new faces, new influences. You as brands, as business, you're directing your marketing budget so much over there. You're paying people you don't even know, you didn't even know their names 2 years ago, because they are what, you know, they're Instagram stars, they have millions of followers, and this is what they are connected to your audience. And that's great. I mean, it's all really exciting. Change is so exciting. So we really just, so how we do it? We work with the charities, we work with verified charities. We ask them to do the same thing they probably would be doing on Instagram if they had the time to have Instagram account. We want them to report, to talk about what they're doing. But we're not just asking them, like, prepare us beautiful film. No, that's not what we want. What we want is we tell them, just take an iPhone, be real, tell us, film your situation, film what you're trying to change, and tell your story, and make it very real, and make the fundraising goal very tangible. Make it, $300, let's grow together. But then people from all over the world can press a love button. So clicktivism. Today with technology, with Apple Pay, who Apple have embraced our vision and allowed us to use Apple Pay, because this is something, I don't know if you're aware, but Apple Pay they didn't work with many charities because there is this great regulation and they're too big to verify charities themselves. So Apple Pay, this incredible tool, was not available to many charities. With Elbi, this tool will be available to many, many charities, to not just to very big organizations that we all know, but also to those who are working very, very hard, but less known because they have less marketing, less visibility, and because they come from countries like Uganda, Russia, India, countries that we don't go very often. People with influence, people with pockets that deep enough to really create change in those countries. Now we can all be closer. This is ultimately part of the globalization, and we have to do something good there as well.
I think you breezed over a really interesting point with Elbi, and that is the button, the love button. Traditionally, when people give online and they have to enter credit card details and so on, there is a big drop-off. People just can't be bothered going through the whole process. And obviously, a lot of people who want to give at that point are being lost to giving. But with the love button, you just press the button, and there's a limit on the button, isn't there? It's not, you don't choose an amount. When you press the button, $1 goes to the charity. And it's so simple, and you don't have to think about it. It's something you can do. However many times you look at your phone in a day, you could do that every single time. You could give $100 a day if you wanted to. This seems to me, and this is the idea that you had 4 or 5 years ago, this button that you would press to give.
It's questionable. It's actually the most frequent question about our product. Why $1? Why can't I give 20? What if I want to give 1,000? And it's quite hard to stick to my vision, but I want to make it non-cerebral. I want to make it as effortless as pressing a like button. But actually, when we press like button, we think about it. We think, because it's a currency too now, very important currency. And that's especially for young people. My son, that like is really precious to him, and the likes that he gets are very precious. So with money, that's why we call it love, because of course, but if you really love something, if you're really moved by something, you're gonna press the love button, because it's actually a very tangible action, very
more powerful
tangible.
Than like as well.
Well, it is. Love is better than like, ultimately, yes.
The whole notion of pressing the button then leads into this, what I mentioned at the beginning, the transactional philanthropy, which you had to explain to me a little bit. You had to clarify that for me a little bit, which is that you build up love coins. When you press the love button, you're building up love coins, and you can use your love coins to purchase products from major brands who are collaborating with you
Yes.
on this?
So we have 4 products. Love Button is one of them. Is sort of, we imagine it as ubiquitous product that could live anywhere where there are storytelling. So any platform that has a story, and in fact that could be even retail platform, because of course everybody and all the brands, everybody who can give back today wants to give back, and that's about how do we put this together. This so let's say a retail platform that is selling a dress that is sustainable could put a love button underneath and say, we will bring even more sustainability, we'll empower this social business, be on this journey with us, and the people would click the love button if they really believe in the idea. The other product is Elbi Loop. So this is something that we really encourage our charity partners to embrace. It's very easy with Elbi to report on the impact that was created. So today, if I'm donating $1, in fact, if I take any action for a charity, I want to know, and especially if I'm a young under 25 years old, for them it's all about transparency, it's all about being real. They'd rather go somewhere and travel to that part of the world and be there and work alongside the charity, because that will be more tangible to them than donating $5 one-way street. Charity and giving shouldn't be one-way street. It should be 2 ways. You should be understanding where that dollar is going. I think that it's really interesting with the Bitcoin and with cryptocurrency, where that's taking us, what that's going to do for philanthropy, because that's sort of creating transparency, and we definitely, with our ears open for what's happening there, because you can trace that dollar. So we are thinking about that. But for now, as a charity, set a realistic goal. If you fundraise more, that's fine. Report of how you spend this money, but you have to give this feedback. So that's LB Loop, and LB Loop can exist. We work with other platforms that, let's say, have a very large audiences, and we collaborate. And we allow them to use Love Button, and actually Apple Pay through our partners. They will not charge 30% from the donations fundraised on our partners' website. That's also something interesting. So let's say if you're big retailing and you go to Apple and you say, "Oh, I want to fundraise. Can I do it with Apple Pay?" They'll say, "No, we don't do that." But with Elbi, if you partner with us, will allow you to use this technology for free.
There's another question. When you use the button, you can target your donation, can't you? It's not just press the button and $1 goes bang into the LB pot. You can target where you want your money to go.
We at Elbi take absolutely, we never touch the donation, so we never take the cut. This is not a financial model. The money goes from your Apple Pay, from your credit card, from your bank, directly to the charity.
I think the easiest thing at this point, it would be an interesting exercise as well, if everybody just got out their Apple phones and downloaded the Elbi app right now, because then you can see it in action. I am a terrible Luddite. It is a bit hunt and peck with me on a mobile phone.
I love you, Tim. You're so bossy. Come on, guys.
But when I did that, I did that over lunch, and you get the whole. You get not just the ability to donate $1, but you also get the story of each charity. You actually become part of a community, because you can see, if you care to, and obviously everybody is so interconnected these days, you can see what everybody else is giving, how they're giving, who they're giving it to. You get a sense, I think, of critical mass, which is very, very important when you're giving money to a charity, that you get the sense that your money actually is working. And with a lot of charities, you never really know. And there's administrative costs, and there are all these kind of shadowy areas. But this is so immediate. And I figure if I got it off the phone, then everybody else is going to get it in about 2 seconds. But
so the second part, the other two products that are very relevant to this industry, and so I'm really excited to tell you about this. We match every dollar that is fundraised or given by users with a love coin. And love coin can be used in the love shop. So love shop is the first place where you can literally shop with love. So you give love, you inflict change, and then you can go to love shop and you can buy the most incredible products, the most desirable products from the most amazing brands in the world. And so the love shop is coming up soon. We've collaborated with my friend Cenk Ahmet Ali, who's in the room somewhere. So he's curating the love shop. The new love shop will be really incredible. You're surprised what kind of brands we're talking to. And they are not, so it's not like a, it's a point system. Yes, it's a point system, except you're getting really just amazing products that sometimes you can't even get anywhere else but on the love shop. And why is it interesting for brands to be in the love shop? Well, what an ideal place to look for your ideal customer, these young kids who are interested in doing good, who are interested in social change, who are also interested in the brands who are socially responsible. It's very well known today that, and actually spoken about in this conference, I heard it a lot yesterday, that the young customer is very likely to 81%, in fact there's hard facts, 81% they're likely to swap to a brand that they believe is more sustainable, more socially responsible, and more in touch with the world and affecting change. So this is hard facts. So if you are in the love shop, and if you're not just giving your leftovers, but if you're giving really amazing product, and if you're rewarding these young people for doing good, then I guess that's a good thing. You're looking good to them.
It's a win-win. It's enhancing transparency as well. That people who are using their love coin in the love shop are buying products from companies whose corporate integrity they can trust.
Well, today young people, they value not only their money, they value their time, and of course, this is also very high up on our agenda, and we're thinking about how to, in the future, to reward volunteering and your volunteer hours, how they can turn into love coins. How to tangibly measure this. And also in Elbi, you already can volunteer your time. So Love Button does not only live on the campaigns, it also lives on the reactions. So you saw reactions from famous people, just so you see familiar faces. But this could be young kids, this could be the influencers talking to their community and saying why the campaign of today is important to them and how it resonates with their life story. So let's say, if today when let's say I'm sharing my personal story, right? I have a sister with disability. I've dedicated my life to special needs. When I talk about it in social media, I know that it's only interesting to maybe 10% of my audience. And it's heartbreaking, but I'm really telling my story. I'm saying something really, really important to me. I want to be able to say it somewhere where it really matters. And so when we have a campaign, and if it's a cause that you want to support, you react to it. You also share it on your social media, and you can give a link back to Elbi, and people can donate through the link with Love Button through you, and you earn love coins too. So if you cannot donate, but if this is something important to you, and if it's something really you want to be vocal about, if you want to create a fantastic reaction, a great campaign, you spend time on it, maybe you even go and travel there. If that's what you want to do, you can support the cause this way. You can fundraise. You can be activist, and the brands will reward you too at the Love Shop.
And we must never forget that Naked Heart continues to make incredible progress in Russia, with nearly 200 playgrounds and safe areas for children open now since you started it. And also you're involved with Flow, which is dealing with women's issues and issues around menstruation and which are very fundamental physical issues in a lot of cultures. And you're using the button with Let's Talk About It, period, aren't you? Which is a way of instant feedback benefiting communities in India.
Yes, so this is an example, a very good example of how we can be an aggregator of voices and platform, and how Elbi can generate change by bringing partners together. So we're working with Flow, which is a leading period tracking app. They work with artificial intelligence. They're incredibly effective. That's why they've been scaling without any PI, any communication for very rapidly. They have 12 million monthly users. And they're number one femtech app, in fact, health app in America. So that's, I guess, is a good introduction for the product. And the period tracking is at the tip of the iceberg of this platform, because it's really a platform. There's a lot of interesting conversations that go on Flow, and so we wanted to take some of those conversations to a global stage, specifically about female health and periods, because in one way or another, this shame and stigma exists all over the world still, whether it's in India, where women during this period in some families, in a lot of families, are separated from their families during their period. Girls dropping out of school around 6th grade, 45% of girls in India drop out of school. It's really phenomenal. It's unacceptable. So it happens when they start their period, and that shame and stigma keeps them at home. Or it's a 6th grader in United States, just shy to ask for a pad, or a girl really embarrassed because she leaked, or in the workplace, if a man raises a voice, he's just trying to make his point. If a woman raises her voice, oh, what's wrong with her? Is it her days? And we see that everywhere. And I mean I'm sure that all women have their own stories, but how can we take this community of women and take conversations they're having to a wider audience? So we created this campaign called Let's Talk About It, period, and we've interviewed some influencers in a very coffee, chatty, girly ways, over coffee, talking about their experiences and these famous girls. Of course, I'm sure, Tim, when you talk to one of your subjects, you don't discuss, how her first gynecologist trip and has she ever had a period accident on a shoot or something like this? But it's actually some really funny, great stories, sometimes heartfelt, sometimes also revealing, even for the ladies themselves, as they talk about something, their relationship with the father, or the first time, the accident that happened and how it's affected them. They're realizing that this is an amazing important topic that they never think about. And let's just stop here for a second. When we go and use a bathroom, we all find loo paper there, right? Because that's kind of normal, right? We all expect that. Well, half of the world, half of this room are women who also may find themselves in a situation that they got their period. And so what are they supposed to do? And imagine if you, okay, maybe you can go to pharmacy if you're in Paris or if you're in London. But this is, even in some highest paid offices in the world, you wouldn't find Tampax, you wouldn't find pads in the toilets. And how is that acceptable? And do you know that tampons are considered luxury product in most countries, including United States? Only in 10 states of America, tampons are tax-free and pads are tax-free, and in 8 of those states there is no tax on retail at all. So it's really, really wrong. And why is that?
Well, I'm sure you will affect change there. You're finding ways to do it using technology in remarkably creative ways, and I think that is such a perfect end to this conference, that we've talked about emotion, we've talked about technology, and we've talked about change. So I would like to thank you so much for rolling voices into a ball for us at the very end.